I'm going to do a couple of songs here, but they're variations on a theme, actually. The first is, and they're both by American folk finger-picking icon, shall we say. The first one's by a man named Mississippi John Hurt, and the second one is by a man named Reverend Gary Davis. So we'll do John Hurt first here. Come all you ladies and gather round, the good sweet Candyman's in town. Candyman. Now he sells a stick of candy that's 9 inches long. He sells it faster than all can chew his comb. Candyman. I said you and that Candyman, you get an awful thick, Now you must be stuck on that Candyman stick, So was thick to Sister Glad. The very next day she bought all he had, Candyman. Try his candy just one time. You know you're gonna want it for a long, long time, Candyman. Said you and that Candyman, you're getting all thick, Now you must be stuck on that Candyman stick, Y'all heard what Sister Joni said. She always takes a candy stick to bed, Candyman. Don't stand too close to the Candyman. He's gonna leave a stick of candy in your hand, Candyman. I said you and that Candyman, you get an awful thick, Now you must be stuck on that Candyman stick, I know you is, Oh yeah, I know you is. Now come on, you ladies, and gather round. The good sweet Candyman's in town, Candyman. I said you and that Candyman, you get on thick, Now you must be stuck on that Candyman stick, John Hurt and Reverend Gary Davis are pretty much some of the most influential finger-picking guitarists that came out of the American whatever scene, folk music, blues. John was somewhat unusual. First of all, that song is like bouncy and it's kind of nice, and a lot of his tunes are like that, even though he came from Mississippi, where most of the tunes are. He managed to put a lightness in his music that was, but that's also because he was in a different part of Mississippi than the Delta. Meanwhile, the other thing unusual about him was he played with 3 fingers, as we call it, thumb and 2 fingers. Most American folk roots musicians actually played with just 2. Including this next song from my mentor, Reverend Gary Davis, who was the font of all things folk finger picking, ragtime, etc., etc. I spent time with Reverend Gary Davis. He married me. He and I didn't get married, my first wife and I. He married us in his home in Jamaica, Queens, New York. It was something like 68 or something like that. And I wish I could have spent more time with him, but I got pretty much the songs I wanted to get. And meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of us guys running around now that spent a lot more time than I did with him, and I can always draw on their experiences. This is his Candyman, and I'm going to try to, it's easier if I do this 3 fingers, but I'm going to try to do it too, like Reverend did it. Candyman, 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 Candyman. Little red light, little green light, little red light, little green light, little red light, little green light. Stop on the red and go on the green. Don't you mess with Mr. In Between. Run, get the pitcher, get the baby some beer. Run, get the pitcher, get the baby some beer. Run, get the pitcher, get the baby some beer. Run, get the pitcher, get the baby some beer. Run, get the gong, get out of here. Wished I was in New Orleans, sitting on the candy stand. Or as the Reverend more likely would say, I'd do anything in this God Almighty world to get my Candyman home. Candyman, salted dog. Candyman, salted dog. Candyman, salted dog. You can't be a Candyman, sure ain't gonna be your salted dog. Candyman, Candyman, Candyman. Reverend Gary was blind, but he used to nod off in the middle of stuff sometimes. Dave Van Ronk, this great bluesman, tells a story. He was driving him back from some concert in Newport or something like that. The Reverend was sitting in the back with his guitar playing infinite variations. And by the way, that's a simplified version that you just heard there. And he would have all kinds of counterpoint going on and everything, 2 fingers. And he kept playing this tune in the back seat, you know. So I was, damn, Reverend, I'm getting tired of that song, you know. And he realized the Reverend was asleep. He was just playing Candyman. Actually, Reverend Gary had this famous Gibson guitar that everybody first probably saw when they saw a picture on his album cover. And when I was hanging out with him, he had a deep gouge in the top of the guitar right here because he smoked a cigar all the time. And he would nod out into the top of the guitar there. And